Hello everyone, welcome to Rasayan Academy. So guys, I'm starting a new series of PYQs that is going to be on bioinorganic chemistry. So I will be uploading all the important GATE PYQs, right? Basically, mostly based on bioinorganic and I'm starting from GATE 2015. Right, so as you already know, I have already given you the notification about my free classes on Unacademy. So over there also we will be discussing bioinorganic and many other good topics, important topics. And here also I am uploading some important videos for all of you. So within 2 to 3 videos, I will be uploading all the important PYQs on specifically bioinorganic chemistry, right? So I hope that this is going to be really helpful for all of you. And yes, let's begin. Alright, so this is our first question that I have taken, a very simple one from the GATE 2015, that is, among the given pH values, the oxygen binding efficiency of hemoglobin is maximum at. So this is a very first and a very simple question. When is your oxygen binding most efficiently to hemoglobin? That has to be your blood pH. Alright, so if the pH values are given at your blood pH, it is going to be most effectively binding to hemoglobin, right? So your blood pH is option number D, that is 7.4. Okay, so approximately 7.35 to 7.45, but usually it is noted as 7.4 only, right? So at this pH your hemoglobin is going to bind very nicely. If the pH goes below this, then there are a lot of bicarbonate ions and the carbon dioxide which might disturb the balance of the oxygen binding to hemoglobin. Okay, yes, so this is our perfect pH. Now moving on to the next question, that is once again from GATE 2015. Okay, so identify the function of hemocyanin and the metal responsible for it. So hemocyanin, hemerythrin, these are the basic things and you need to know everything about them for both your GATE and CSI net examination. Very simple. Hemocyanin does not have heme group, does not have cyanide, it has copper. So it has copper and it is a oxygen transport protein, metalloprotein. Let's look at it. So your answer is option number B. Electron transfer not done by hemerythrin or hemocyanin. Electrons transferred, once again wrong. Oxygen transport is there but iron is not present. So B is our correct answer. Let's look at the structure of hemocyanin. So usually when you are having the deoxyhemocyanin, it will be like this. There are many questions on hemocyanin and hemerythrin that you will get in both the NET and GATE examination. So yes, what we can do is, I was only actually thinking about uploading the GATE questions, but I think if I upload the CSR question also, it will be much more helpful. So okay, we'll do that. So yes, nitrogen from the histidine. Alright, so nitrogen from the histidine. Alright, these are the histidine units, amino acids that are, histidine residue. So basically in the deoxyhemocyanin, in the deoxy form, you don't have any copper-copper bond formation. It's only held together like this by the histidines. Now when you, give the oxygen, when you are getting the oxygen in the hemocyanin, what happens is your copper stays in the +1 oxidation state in the deoxy form, but when it gets an oxygen, it transfers 1 electron. So for example, this is your, there are two coppers, so copper +1 like this. It is going to give you copper 2+ in this manner, and your oxygen now gets 1 electron, so becomes peroxy. So the oxygen becomes peroxy, and hence the linkage that you see in between oxygen, there is one oxygen single bond, and it is bound to oxygen like this. So it is mu diperoxo complex like this. Okay, so also because in the oxy form, of hemocyanin, copper goes into +2 oxidation state, hence it shows blue color. Alright, so deoxy form is colorless and the oxy form is blue in color. Okay, sometimes also hemocyanin is called the blue blood. That is because of the blue color shown by the copper. Okay, easy question. Next we have GATE 2016 question. It is, during the oxygen transport by hemerythrin, oxygen is bound as, so once again hemocyanin, hemerythrin, basic stuff you have to know. So what is oxygen bound to? First of all, let's look at the structure of hemerythrin. It is once again an oxygen transport metalloprotein. Okay, oxygen transport में use होता है metalloprotein. Now in the deoxy form you have two irons. Alright, in the oxy form also you have two iron. There is just one slight difference. One of them is penta coordinated, the other one is hexa coordinated. Okay, and both of these will be in the different oxidation states. Also, when there are, let's say plus 2, when there is an oxygen like this. So when there is an oxygen which is added to the hemerythrin, it is going to bind in the superoxide form. Let's look at the structure over here. So one of the iron is hexa coordinated, 1 2 3 4 5 6. This one is hexa coordinated. Okay, which means that there are 6 groups surrounding the iron. The other iron is only penta coordinated. It is only penta coordinated. Alright, so now once again guys, when we are looking at the oxygen binding, this oxygen is once again getting electrons from both of these iron. Iron is present in +2 and +2 oxidation state in the deoxyhemerythrin. In the oxyhemerythrin, it will both be +3. Where is that one electron going from both the irons? So once again, from both of these irons, yes, from both of these irons, you are taking one electron, Fe3 plus Fe3 plus it becomes, and the oxygen now forms peroxide, not superoxide, it forms the peroxide linkage in which it is bound to that 5, at first it was a penta coordinated one. Now since the oxygen has bound, it becomes a 6 coordinated iron center, and the other end of the dioxygen which is to be transported, it forms the hydrogen bond from the bridging OH group. Very, very important structure. From the bridging OH group, it forms the hydrogen bonding. It does not go all the way to connect to other iron. Already it is hexa coordinated. It connects to the bridging OH. Now let's get back to the question and let's see. O2 minus, this is a superoxide ion. It is not a peroxide ion, so this is completely wrong. To one iron only. Yes, completely wrong. O2 2 minus looks like it is a peroxide. To one iron Fe2 plus and one Fe3 plus. No, completely wrong. Why? Because as we have seen, it binds to your iron 3 plus and your hydrogen bonded OH. Okay? So here we come back. HO2 minus there will be. So it is actually OO minus like this, which is coordinate to a hydrogen, and this iron 3 plus like this. So your answer is option number B. It is coordinated to one Fe3 plus only, and there is a hydrogen written because that is coming from the hydrogen bonding. Once again, it is wrong. Cannot be connected to 2 Fe2 plus. Wrong. So your correct answer is option number B. You must know about the basic structure of the oxy and deoxyhemerythrin and hemocyanin as well. Okay. Moving on to the next question from once again GATE 2016. At pH 7.2 and 10 torr oxygen partial pressure, the extent of oxygen binding is. Now guys, what happens is oxygen binding is usually high for myoglobin and lower, a little bit lower for hemoglobin, because when you are seeing the graph, okay, when you are seeing the graph, let's say here it is oxygen saturation percentage in the y-axis and pressure in the x-axis, let's say. So let's say we are talking about any random line. Let's say we are talking about this pressure, this much pressure. Then who is going to absorb oxygen better? As you can see, hemoglobin is a sigmoidal curve and myoglobin is a hyperbolic curve like this. So here it is, hemoglobin has a less oxygen saturation percentage as compared to the myoglobin, right? So myoglobin is going to absorb greater percentage of, all right, so let's just continue it to over here because this is your myoglobin. All right, at the same pressure, myoglobin absorbs much higher percentage of oxygen as compared to hemoglobin. Okay, so at whatever percentage you take, and specifically in the low percentage range. Why? Because at higher percentage, both of them are going to be approximately equal. So in the lower percentage, lower pressure range, we will observe this, that your myoglobin absorbs very much high oxygen as compared to hemoglobin. So it is going to be high for myoglobin and low for hemoglobin in the pressure ranges. All right, so at the lower pressure ranges of oxygen. Okay, so yes, we have also talked about very important concepts through this video. All the important 3-4 concepts are being discussed. Yes, another question from GATE 2017. Here it is. The oxygen Raman stretching frequency given over here of the oxygen O2 coordinated to iron center in oxyhemoglobin is. Now this is a very important question. It could be asked for oxyhemoglobin, oxyhemerythrin, or oxyhemocyanin. It could be asked for any one of these. And why is this important? Because when you are talking about your simple oxygen, let's say your dioxygen, you're talking about simple one, the stretching frequency, the Raman stretching frequency is approximately 1560 centimeter inverse, for example. But let's say when you are binding the oxygen in the superoxide form, so in the superoxide form it is going to be like this. So definitely the bond order decreases when we are adding one more electron. Superoxide is O2 minus, right? So this is the superoxide form. Now definitely if there is one electron extra added, ये one electron जो है, it goes into the pi star antibonding orbital of oxygen, bond order decreases, hence the frequency will also decrease. So let's say in the superoxide form it is 1100 centimeter inverse, and in the peroxide form, which is completely like this, peroxide has a very less bond order. So peroxide, it is going to be 850 to 750 centimeter inverse. Okay, yes, so superoxide is formed in hemoglobin and myoglobin as well. Okay, so in both hemoglobin and myoglobin, you get the superoxide oxygen bound as superoxide. See, usually your iron, you know that in the deoxyhemoglobin, iron is above the porphyrin ring because of the larger size. When it becomes iron 3 plus, it is going to adjust into this ring itself, in the porphyrin ring. And now where did that one electron go from iron 2 plus to iron 3 plus? That went to your oxygen, and hence it is coordinated in the bent manner, because now it is no more dioxygen, it is superoxide. Okay, O2 minus. So iron 3 plus is, iron 2 plus gave one electron to dioxygen, became iron 3 plus, and hence you are having this stretching frequency Raman for the hemoglobin. If I ask you for the myoglobin, it would be the same thing. If I ask you for hemocyanin, just we have done hemocyanin and hemerythrin, then you know that they are going to be connected in the peroxide form. So your frequency is going to be 850 to 750 centimeter inverse. It is going to become lower and lower because of the decreasing bond order from dioxygen to superoxide to peroxide, right? So ultimately for this particular question, your answer is option number A, 1100 centimeter inverse. Alright guys, so there are going to be more questions on the bioinorganic chemistry. I hope that you liked this video, and if you did, please like it and please also share it with your friends guys, because I am creating a lot of content all for you, all for free. Okay, and there are also very many free classes on Unacademy, so if you want you can join up. And take the benefit of all the free classes. Also, if you are interested in joining Unacademy Plus subscription, that is your where you are getting the complete course for the CSI NET exam as well as revision and practice, you can use this code Jagriti S. Okay, and also since this is 23rd of December and there is going to be a price hike on 25th, I would suggest all of you to join up in 23rd or 24th only, so that you have to pay less. So by using this code, already you are paying less by 10%, but yes, further after the price hike, the prices are going to increase. So I would once again remind you to join very soon. Okay everyone, we'll see you in another such video, bioinorganic part 2, 3 and 4. Let's say how many we can do, and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.